Hi, I'm Marissa Luethi, and I'm from Centerport, New York. This wasn't my first time leaving home alone for an extended period of time. However, it was my first time going to Greece. I was thrilled to have the opportunity to live and study in another country for 3 months. I'll admit, I was skeptical at first about spending my first semester of college abroad, but I'm glad I decided to go. I've had the opportunity to do things very few freshmen in college do. I left my family in the JFK airport and got ready for a long flight. When I first got to Greece, I wasn't sure what to do with myself. I didn't know where things were, who anyone was, and of course, all the signs were in Greek. It took a few weeks before the menus didn't look like gibberish anymore. After those first few orientation days, I began to realize the 6th floor and those in my GE class would become more or less like a family. I could never seem to get rid of them, but I didn't want to. I'm ready. I spent every Thursday from 7:30 to 8:30 at my service learning location. My group helped to encourage the young people of Greece to continue the art of Greek folk dancing. We spent an hour learning dances every week and later performed with other folk dancing students for a handicap group. Speaking to some of the native Greeks, you could really tell how much folk dancing meant to them in their culture. It was a lot of fun to be able to be fully immersed in such a major part of their culture. The amount of opportunities I've had here has been overwhelming. We went to places like Halki Diki, where we spent a weekend on the beach and took a boat trip, and Vergina, where we saw a museum of ruins and lots of stray animals. In Athens, we got to see the Acropolis and Parthenon. Then we drove to Delphi, where we had a beautiful view in the mountains. I love being in the museums where they reference Greek mythology constantly. It was hard to believe that just as a freshman in college, in my first semester, I was traveling all over Greece. ACT offered up a multitude of excursions that we could go on as well. The most exciting for me was the opportunity to climb Mount Olympus. I'm definitely not the most physically fit person, so hiking up a mountain for 2 days probably wasn't the smartest idea, but it was one of the most self-satisfying moments ever. It gave me beautiful pictures, an opportunity for bragging rights, and some extra time to spend with some good friends. Although, I quickly found out that I can't speak to people while hyperventilating up the mountain. I can't compare the feeling of climbing to the top of a mountain to anything else I've done before. I also took a trip to the Poser Hot Springs, where we stopped and saw the largest waterfall in Greece. Ioannina, where I walked through my first cave, and Meteora, where we saw beautiful monasteries. After Mount Olympus, my favorite were the monasteries. I've never seen a more exotic arrangement of churches. Of course, while trying to do everything possible in Greece, I still had to attend classes and work hard. Classes were exhausting, but we all still found time to appreciate the Thessaloniki nightlife. When we had off from class, however, like over fall break, I took that opportunity to fly to Switzerland and visit some family. I went shopping in Zurich, took an opportunity to explore on my own, and spent time with my cousins and their friends. The NUM-sponsored events were also amazing. I went to a hockey game. That was definitely an experience I'll never forget. It was my first professional soccer game. The other team's fans were blocked off, and the crowd was going wild. I just wish I could have seen what happened when Puck actually scored. Besides that, we had multiple opportunities for going out to dinner, the mall, an amusement park, the chocolate factory, and so much more. It was great to see how even though we have the exact same things in the US, they're completely different in another country. Between the friendly people, amazing teachers, and friends I've made here, it was easy to call Thessaloniki home. I became quickly acquainted with the city and the beauty of living under 5 minutes from the boardwalk. I will truly miss living in Greece and will do my best to bring some of their culture home with me.